Audio Jungle.
All right, we have 2 live sessions today. Most people don't, but you do. Podcast live session, and we are thrilled to bring to the stage Kristin Oja. She is not only the founder of Stat Wellness, she's also the host of Little by Podcast, which is really cool. I started listening to a couple, and I just love your approach. She obtained her Doctor of Nursing practice, Masters of Science in Nursing with a family nurse practitioner focus, and also is a registered nurse. I'll get some of these words right. Kristin is also an entrepreneur, a functional and lifestyle medicine guru, a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and lover of everything health and wellness. Boy, what a ray of sunshine, Kristin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on here, Bart.
Is that a good way to start?
Man, that was phenomenal. And you said
Good.
fast and furious. I'm like, man, that's my speed. That's the way I like to operate.
Oh, fantastic. So a few questions. The name of our podcast is Most People Don't. And what attracted me to you and what you were doing, it is really a lot of things that most people don't consider and most people don't do. But I want to start off with you specifically, Kristin. You have so many great degrees and you have so many passions. What is one thing that you think you do that most people don't do?
I think I keep internal harmony. I just keep myself internally feeling aligned and balanced. And I think that's why my external environment can be so chaotic and wild.
And how do you do that? Which is great. I think everyone probably strives for that. How do you find this internal harmony?
I call it my peace bubble. I just take some deep breaths and I stay in my peace bubble, and because there's always fires and there's always chaos. I have 3 kids. We're going to have 10 business locations by the end of the year. And it's chaotic. And so I just talk about my little peace bubble and my breaths, and I stay in harmony.
Incredible. My wife just asked me the other day, am I at peace and am I content? Because our business, she helps me. She's the co-founder. You'll have to meet her sometime. But we're just jamming with so many things all the time. And I said, yeah, it's busy, but this is exactly what I want to be doing right now. And I'm getting that sense from you also, right, Kristin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told my husband, he actually left corporate America and works with me. And I was telling him the other day, I was like, if we ever stop loving what we're doing, it's time to get out,
Yeah.
and there's good days and bad days, but we love what we do. And
Yeah. Tell our listeners about Stat Wellness.
So we're
How
the
would you
nation's
describe,
first.
what it is and what you offer, I guess.
So we're the nation's first functional medicine and movement practice. So we specialize in precision medicine, root cause, taking an individualized approach. But what's different about us, in addition to doing functional medicine, is we have barbells in all of our locations. So we put a lot of emphasis on strength training, on maintaining muscle mass, on having health coaches and dietitian and accountability, and really being a one-stop wellness shop.
Okay. And tell us again, how is that different from other organizations?
So a lot of organizations in medicine, we're trained to have a reactive approach, right? Like you come in with a symptom and we're trained to evaluate your symptom and figure out what labs to run and what medication to put you on. And for us, we're trained in functional medicine to help understand your root imbalance and to work on internal healing versus just treating. So it's a different thought process, but it's still very medically driven and evidence-based.
And is that different than a DO?
Yes. So as a nurse practitioner, so I'm a family nurse practitioner, I didn't have to do functional medicine. So there's family nurse practitioners out there that do internal medicine. Where I got some unique training was through the Institute of Functional Medicine and A4M. So they're the functional medicine certifying bodies that I've pursued. But DOs are similar to MDs, where nurse practitioners are similar to PAs. So that's our education, but it's a different way of practicing that we've
Okay.
chosen to do at Stat Wellness.
Okay. And how many locations are there right now of Stat Wellness?
So we have 8 right now, and we're in the market for 2 more by the end of the year.
Remind me, where are they located?
So we're in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina's in construction, Tennessee. And so we have a few in each of those states.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And did you think that you wanted to be opening up? Safe to say these are brick and mortar locations, correct? Yeah.
1000%. And
Yeah.
that's actually what I should have said is unique about us is, people are scaling tech, telehealth platforms.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
no, I want to meet with my patients. I want to be able to hug them at checkout. And so we're scaling brick and mortars 1000%. We want to be people's third space. I don't know if you've heard of that concept, Bart, but this place, it's not work. It's not home. It's a place you don't have responsibility.
Yes.
Like we want to be your third space.
Yes. And Kristin, no, I do know that because I was listening to someone recently chat, and they were talking about like my parents and my grandparents. They had 3 places, right? They had work, they had home, and then they would have the bowling league, or they would have the neighborhood swimming pool, right? There were 3 places, but those are going away because a lot of people, you're right, are working from home. So I'm at home and I'm working. That's one place. Well, I love that you're looking at wellness to be able to be the third space. Really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it franchised, or do they all fall under your realm of responsibility?
Mm-hmm. They're all corporate owned. So we just became a C Corp at Stat Wellness Inc. at the end of last year.
Okay. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing what you're doing, and I love the element of being able to hug your customers or your clients, your patients, right, when appropriate. There's something that we talk a lot about. Besides, most people don't. It's this term called humanality, and we're in the process of registering it because we believe that people want to feel cared for, not processed.
Mm-hmm.
So think about technology everywhere, but we want people to feel cared for and valued and seen. And that's really what you're doing. Can you share any success stories through what Stat Wellness is offering without giving names of someone came in here, this was their issue or complaint, and through what services you are offering, you were able to make them feel better? Any examples to share?
Oh, of course. So one, I know this is maybe sounds small, but we had a patient that she was a 51-year-old female. She'd been an executive for the last decade of her career. And she started feeling like she had ADD and ADHD. And she went to her primary care and they sent her to a psych and they wanted to put her on a stimulant for the first time in her life in her 50s. And so she came to Stat Wellness because she was like, I want to do deeper labs and I want to understand why all of a sudden now I'm struggling to focus and I'm dealing with brain fog. Like I didn't get to where I am in my career with, being unmedicated and brain foggy all the time. And we did a hormone panel. And of course, it was perimenopause. And I know this sounds so small, but it's not. When women start to lose their hormones, their performance really goes down. Their mental clarity goes down. And so we started some nutrients and we started some hormone replacement therapy and we cleaned up her diet. And she was like, Kristin, I don't have any brain fog anymore. I don't need a stimulant. So she was going to be put on a stimulant for the rest of her career to do her job that she had done for the past decade. So, she's just a really simple, easy example that I give a lot. And then another example, I had a patient come in and nobody could figure out her C-reactive protein, which is a marker of inflammation. Her C-reactive protein had been staying at 20, and a C-reactive protein should be less than 1. She's walking around with all this inflammation and she's not feeling optimal. And, rheumatologist, she wasn't sick enough in quotes yet. They couldn't find anything wrong with her. And so we did a really good dive, and she ended up having an atypical gluten reaction. So it wasn't a celiac disease, but she reacted very poorly to gluten. And
Yeah.
this seems like such a small thing, but I was like, you know what? Let's just try it. There's no harm. Let's cut out gluten for 6 weeks. I'm going to get you in with a dietitian. Her CRP in 6 weeks of going gluten free went down to 3 from in the 20s with
Wow.
just cutting out the processed grain she was eating. So, those are two very basic. And I would love to say that everybody that comes to our door is that simple and that quick. But just an idea of what we can offer and what we can do and how we look at things differently.
Yeah, and that's my sense. And as you just say this, Kristen, I'm remembering about 2 or 3 conversations that I've had with 2 or 3 different ladies that, not unlike the first example that you shared, or even the second example, but they felt that no one was advocating for them. And when they started to advocate for themselves and then saw the right people like at Stat Wellness that would help and evaluate the whole person, they began to finally find relief. And I'll give you a quick example. We just met a gentleman, Craig, in Las Vegas, and he works with vibrational therapy and the importance of sound and movement and vibrations. I don't fully understand it, but he's a brilliant gentleman. But he was sharing a story that his wife was not feeling well for a very long time. And they weren't heavy drinkers. They ate well, they exercised. And the regular doctors, with all due respect, were like, oh, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Just get some more rest and take vitamin C, something silly like that. And then finally, she realized on Saturday nights, they would have one beer together. And on Sunday, she lost her voice every single time. And one person said, try not drinking the beer on Saturday night because maybe it's affecting something in your body. And sure enough, it was. And she stopped drinking beer, and it was wheat, celiac, gluten. It was one of those things. I don't remember specifically, but her whole life like went from I don't feel well, I'm in bed, I'm tired, to stopping one beer on the weekend, and it changed her whole outlook and her whole life. And not that it's
Mhm.
always that simple, but tell us a little bit about the evaluation when a new person, new patient, new customer, client would come in. What is the evaluation
Mhm.
like to figure out? I mean, they're coming to you because they don't feel ideal. Tell us about the evaluation process.
So, and also some come because they feel good, but they want to feel better. So we also have kind of both. But what we start with is what we call a new patient functional medicine consult. And we go back to your mom's pregnancy. So we go back to, was she stressed? Was she supported? Was she in a relationship? What was she smoking? Where did she live? To what was the delivery like? Were you a vaginal delivery? Were you breastfed? Were you a C-section? How many antibiotics were you on? Did you feel safe growing up? And I can't tell you how many people have been like, wow, Kristen, nobody has ever asked me these questions.
Yeah.
But these questions help us to understand you as a person. We're all
Mhm.
unique. And so that 1 hour, what we call health timeline, is really important to us because it helps us understand what tests to run, what was going on in your life when the symptoms started. And, your health today is a picture of the past, right? Your
Mm.
health today is not how did you eat last week? How did you exercise last week? It's your birth, your upbringing, your diet, if you
Your
played outside,
environment.
if you got
Right.
dirty. So
Yes. Oh, there's so many things. And Chris, and my sense is that typical practitioners don't have the time to ask you these questions and to be able to spend time to understand what you might need and then have the expertise and the knowledge to be able to provide solutions for how you are answering these questions. I mean, what a brilliant idea. No wonder you're successful. No wonder that you are growing and just doing incredible things. As we're posting this live, which is so fun, we're getting individuals, Larry, Bryce, Basin, nice topic. We're glad that you're joining. It's going to Facebook, it's going to our YouTube channel, and then we will also continue to publish this in a few weeks, Kristen. But I wanted people to get an initial taste, like a little appetizer teaser of what you are doing and how you are doing it. For our listeners that maybe are not in your locations, do you offer any type of virtual assistance? Because your approach, I think, is great. Do you?
Mhm. Yes. So we do telemedicine nationwide. There's
Okay,
states that we're fully licensed in, so we can prescribe medicine. And then there's states where we can do more of like the health coaching and
okay,
support where we're not licensed in. But if you go to our website at www.statwellness.com, you can look at our virtual locations and see the states we're fully licensed in. And
okay.
we also offer a free 15-minute consult. So if you're like, I don't even know, this is a lot of information. Can you speak to me as a person? We'd love to do a free 15, speak to you as a person on how we'd work with you and what that would look like. Because our
Okay.
journeys are different.
Yeah, for sure. Did you always know that you wanted to care this deeply about other people?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I've always been, and I know this gets a little woo woo, but I'm a very empathetic person. And
Mhm.
so when I would work with someone through school and I'd have a sore throat, like my patient would come in with a sore throat and then I'd have a sore throat. Or my patient was going through a divorce and I just felt everything so deeply. I knew I just had to find a different way of doing medicine that allowed me to care at that level. But
Yeah.
I feel everything my patients feel. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Thankfully, I'm able to like leave it at the door. But if you come in and you have a headache, I'm going to have a headache.
Right, right. Now, I know people are falling in love absolutely with you and what you're sharing. Are they going to be disappointed when I go for the consult and I don't get to speak with Kristin?
Hopefully not, because we have about 10 providers that are absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And we have such a team based approach. I unfortunately stopped seeing new patients in 2024, and I'm still on a wait list, even though I haven't seen new patients since 2024.
Mhm.
But we collaborate as a team, and we have a constant thread with each other. So you'll get all of
Yeah.
our brains.
Yeah, because you can't be everywhere. And I'm sure the people
No,
that you have selected, that you've hired, have similar values and attitudes and approaches like you. That's right.
absolutely.
And you started a company because perhaps you weren't finding that same type of care with other organizations that you could work for, my guess. So you're like, okay, I'm going to start my own. I'm going to start my own based on my
Mhm.
beliefs, and I know how we can help people. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Very
You
good.
nailed
All
it.
right, great. All right, Kristen, last question for you. What advice would you give to our listeners? We're consistently between the top 2 to 5% globally, which is just, we're so fortunate. So we have really good listeners that want to feel better, get better, and do better. What suggestion from a health perspective could you give them, a little bit of advice on how to feel better, get better, and do better?
I think don't underestimate the foundations. I am constantly looking at how I'm doing from a nutrition, a hydration, a sleep, a movement, a
Yeah.
stress. Think about these pillars, and normally one or two of them are off balance. Because life is busy. We're either sleeping really well, but not exercising, or maybe we're exercising really hard and skipping on sleep. So just think of these foundations and pick one or two things, small changes in those buckets that you need to put more attention to. Start doing it today. Because my favorite quote is little by little, little becomes a lot. And these
Yeah.
small, simple changes over time are going to make a big difference. And believe it.
hmm Which also then leads perfectly to the name of your podcast, Little by Podcast. Tell us a little bit more about the name. Does it relate to that quote that you just shared?
It's my favorite quote. Yes. I think, we look for these big earth shattering changes, and it's the consistency that makes the difference.
Yeah.
And so, little by little is all about small, simple changes that we can make over time.
Yeah. And I also like to share, thank you. I agree 100% with you that I encourage people to take some of the pressure off themselves. You don't need to get everything done, as long as you do your best to make progress. And that aligns perfectly with Little by Little, the Little by podcast. So amazing. Kristen, I know this was short, but very, very powerful. Uh, Kristin Oja, OJA, and founder of Stat Wellness, host of Little by Podcast. Remind us of the website one more time.
It's www.statwellness, wellness.com.
All right, fantastic. Kristen, what a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate what you are doing to help others. And I am excited for our listeners, if they're located in your area, to go see one of your locations, right? Embrace the brick and mortar, allow someone to hug you, spend the time to talk to someone, allow them to ask you the right questions, give them your vulnerable, honest answers, and then begin to feel better. So what an honor, Kristin Oja. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Founder of Stat Wellness, host of Little by Podcast. Follow her, connect with her, listen to her podcast, give it good ratings, and I'm sure we will remain connected.
Thank you so much, Bart. This was wonderful.
Awesome. Short but sweet, just like you, right? Powerful.
I love it.
Powerful.
I love it.
Yeah, powerful. So thank you, Kristin. I appreciate it. All right, we'll be in touch.
Thank you, Bart. And if there's ever wellness topics, bring me back.
Yes. And if ever you need me on a Little by podcast, I'm happy to return the favor. Okay. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Kristin. Bye.
All right. Bye.